Welcome all. So in this video, we are going to work with AWS EC2. So what we are going to do, first we'll create a Spring Boot project. Then with the help of S3, we'll upload our jar to AWS S3. Then we'll create a EC2 infrastructure in AWS. And then we'll get jar from the S3 and then we'll run that jar to EC2. So working from EC2 to S3, we need to create some role or permission. So that is the very important thing whenever we are going to work with AWS. Creation of users, groups, and role. This is the most important things. So in this video, we are going to cover all these things. So let's start. The first thing, we'll create a Spring Boot project. So if you see here, I have one Spring Boot project. This is the skeleton. I don't have anything here. I have only a main class here. And this is the main class where we annotated this as a Spring Boot application. So what we will do, we'll create one user. So if you see, I have an entity here. So let me create one class here. That is user class. So user. And let me provide some variables here. Private string, let's suppose username. Private string user ID and private double user salary. Okay. And let me create the constructor, getter, and setters here. So generate constructor. Now let me create setters and getters. So generate here getters. And also I want to create setters also. So go to generate and setters. And let me create one default constructor here. So public user. So this is my entity class. Now come to the controller. And here we have to create one controller. So control name is user controller. Okay. Annotate this class as @REST controller. And we need to create one service class also. So let's create one service class. User service. Mark this class as @service. Okay. Now in controller, I want to auto wire this user service to user controller. So auto wire this. Import this class. Now here I want to create one method like public list of, I want to return list of user. Okay. User get all user details. Okay. And here I will return user service dot, let me create one method inside the service class. So find user details. Okay. So let me import this user class. And I have to create this method, right? This method I have to create inside the service class because we don't have any method here, right? So let me create this method. So this is my method. So let me create some static values here so that we can return those users. So list of user list equals to arrays dot as list, and here we'll create the user object. So we have user name. So let's suppose name is Jack. Now user ID is 111. Now salary is 5,000. Okay. Let me create one more object. So new user. And suppose the name is Lisa. User ID is 222. Some dummy values, and salary is 8,000. Okay. And I'm going to return this list. So return list. Okay, that's it. If you see my pom.xml, I don't have anything here. We have Spring Boot Starter Web and Spring Boot Starter Test, nothing else. Whether we are going to work with the AWS EC2 instance, but I haven't add any dependency here. Okay, and in application or properties file, I want to run my port number in 8080. Okay, so we have a user class, and in the controller, I am returning a list of users. If you go inside this method, this are the list of users. Okay, so let me run this application first. So it's a simple Spring Boot application where we are returning the list of users. Now we'll check how we can deploy this jar to S3 and how we can get that jar from S3 to EC2, and we'll run that jar. Okay, so it got started. So it's a simple Spring Boot application. So if I want to fetch all these users, what I have to do, I have to go to the Chrome here, and I have to write HTTP localhost, port number is 8080, and okay, here we did one thing, we did mistake, right? Here we have to provide a get mapping here. So provide @get mapping, and let's suppose value equals to the path is /all user. Okay, so let me run this application again. So when we will hit this path, we'll get the user details. Okay, so it got started. Now copy this path and go to Chrome. And here we have to provide this path. Okay, and hit enter. See, here we are getting the two objects. So this is a normal Spring Boot application. Now we want to deploy this Spring Boot application to EC2. Okay, so come to the AWS console. This is the AWS console, and if you type here EC2, so you click this one, EC2, and this is the page of EC2. Currently, we don't have any EC2 instance are running. So let me create the EC2 instance first. Okay, so launch instance. So I'm selecting this one, AMI. So, and the instance type, I'm going to select T2 micro because it's a free. Next. And here, if you see the number of instances, I want to run only one, and all other things are default. And here, if you see, we have a IAM role. I will tell you later how we are going to create an IAM role so that our EC2 will connect with S3. Okay. So for time being, just leave it as it is. And yeah, click next. Storage is default. Storage is 8 GB. That is sufficient. Click next. Click next. Here we have to create a security group. Okay. So if you have an existing security group, that's fine. If you don't have, then create one new security group. Okay. So let me create a new security group. So create, and I want to provide this name as EC2 S3 demo security group. Okay. And if you see here, the type I want to select that is called SSH, and the protocol is TCP, and the range is 22. And source, here I want to select anywhere. From anywhere, if any request comes to this IP, I want to get all the users. Okay, so select here anywhere. Okay, and click review and launch. Now launch this one. So here we have to select one existing key pair to create a new key pair. So let's create a new key pair. I want to create a new key pair, and I want to provide the name is EC2 S3 demo. Okay. So what it means, it will tell you to download the key pair. So once I will download the key pair, so I will get the private key, and Amazon AWS is having a public key. So whenever we will try to connect from local machine to Amazon AWS, on that time that private key is required. So download that key. So if you see, the key got downloaded. Now go and launch instances. So what all we did, we have created this one, and we have created the EC2 infrastructure. Now we have to upload our jar to S3, right? So come to the console, and if you see here view instances, so currently it's starting, this instance is starting here. So let me provide some name here. Our name is EC2 S3 demo. EC2 S3. Why is it not taking? Yeah. So my instance name is EC2 S3, and if you see here, the instance state is pending. Okay. So go to the S3. It will take some time for running. So till now, go to the S3. Create. If you see, this is my S3. Now go to the new tab, and here we have S3. Here I have to upload my jar file, right? So for uploading a jar file, first I need to create a bucket. Okay. So let me create a bucket first. My bucket name is EC2 S3 demo. You can provide any name. My name is EC2 S3 demo. Okay, my bucket name. And the region is US East 1. And I want to, all these things will be public so that we can get the jar from S3 to EC2. Okay. Now acknowledge here. And that's it. Create bucket. Bucket with the same name already exists. Okay. So let me change the name EC2 S3 bucket. Okay. Now create bucket here. If you see here, my bucket got created. Okay. Now here I have to upload a jar. So go to that bucket, and here I have to upload my jar. So click on upload, click on add files here, and where is my jar? So if you go here, our project name is spring-boot-EC2-S3, right? So inside this target folder, this is my jar file. Okay. So this one is our jar, and click on upload. So if you see here, the status is uploading. So till that, go to EC2 instance. Yeah, so if you see here, EC2 instance is running. Why name is not coming? Let me provide the name again. EC2. Yeah, now it took the name. Okay. So yeah, if you see here in S3, uploaded succeeded. Okay. Now close this one, and this is our bucket. So go inside that bucket, and if you see, this is our jar file. Okay. So we did this also. We have created a Spring Boot project, uploaded jar to S3. This is also done. Created EC2 infrastructure is also done. Now we have to do get jar from S3. Okay. So come here, and in EC2 management, here if you see, while connecting from EC2 to S3, we need some roles and permission, right? So for that, we have to create one role. So let me create one role. For creating a role, I have to go here, IAM. And this is my IAM management console. And here, if you see, here we have a role. Go to that roles and create one role here. Select role type is AWS service, and we are going to use EC2. Click EC2 here, and now click on next permission. So we have to provide some permission here. So from EC2, we are going to get jar from S3, right? So we have to provide S3 access to EC2. So type here S3. And if you see here, we have Amazon S3 full access. So click this one and click next tags. I don't want to provide any tags here. Review. And provide the role name. So the role name is EC2 S3 demo role. Okay. And create role. So my role got created. So our role name is EC2. This is our role, right? EC2 S3 demo. Click this role. And if you see here, we have a permission to Amazon S3 full access. This is the one way. And the second way is you have to create a user group. You have to create a user and add that user to user group. But on that time, if you are going to do these things on that time, your access key and secret key will store to EC2 instance. So that is not a good practice. If you are working on a development or test environment, then that is fine. But if you are working on the production environment, then you should have to go with the rules. Okay. So a role is created. Now come to EC2 instance and come to your actions. Now we have to attach that role to EC2 instance. So go to security and modify AM role and choose a role from here. So which one is our role? Our role is EC2 S3 demo role. This role we have created, right? So click this one and save it. Okay, so this is done. Now we have to connect this EC2 instance. So for that, here if you see here we have a connect option. So click it, connect, and use this one, EC2 Instance Connect. And if you see, my username is EC2 user. This is the by default user, so don't change it and click connect. So it will create a new window, new tab, and here we will see the EC2 machine. And this is a virtual machine. Okay. So if you check here, who am I? It will say the username is EC2 user. Now we are going to run a jar file that is built on Java. So let's check what is the version of Java. So Java-version. So we don't have Java here. So first thing we have to install Java here. So the command is yum install Java. Hit enter. You need to be root to perform this command. So we have to do sudo here, sudo su, and now provide the yum update and we have to install, right? So yum install Java. Say yes. And it's installing the Java in EC2 machine. So it will take some time for Java installation. And after that, we have to get our jar from the S3 bucket. So this is our S3 bucket. Our jar is here. So our bucket name is EC2 S3 demo bucket. Okay. This is our bucket. Yeah, Java got installed. Now check Java -version. And if you see, the version is 11. Okay. Now what we have to do, we have to get, let's first check whether we are able to connect with S3 or not. So the command is AWS S3 and ls. Yeah, we are getting all the bucket here. See, we have 3 bucket here, right? And our bucket is this one, EC2 S3 demo bucket. Okay. So we are able to connect because of we have attached role there in EC2 instance, right? Now, what we have to do, we have to copy that jar from S3 to EC2 instance. So while doing that, I want to create one directory here. So let me create one mkdir/app cd/app. And here I want to copy that jar from S3 to EC2. So AWS S3 ls. So AWS S3 ls. And which one is our bucket? Our bucket name is this one, right? So copy this bucket. Command not found. Okay, I did mistake. AWS S3 ls. And the bucket name is this one. Okay. And if you see inside this bucket, we have this jar, right? This jar we have uploaded here in S3. If you see, the jar name is spring-boot-AWS-EC2-S3 snapshot.jar. And if you see here inside this bucket, we have this jar, right? Now copy that jar to this app directory, right? So the command is AWS S3 cp and S3. The bucket name, our bucket name is EC2 S3 demo bucket / our jar name. So jar name is this one. And I want to copy to the current directory. So dot. Now if you see here, the jar got downloaded. Okay. Now if you see here, ls-lrt, this is my jar, right? This one is my jar. Now I want to run that jar. So what is the command? Java-jar and run this jar. We are deploying that jar to EC2 instance, right? Hit enter. Application got started. And if you see, it got successfully started, right? Now I want to hit that endpoint, whether we are getting those users or not. So for that, what I have to do, I can't hit here, right? And I also can't hit in the browser because we don't have any load balancer, right? So what we have to do, come to the EC2 instance. And if you see here, this is my instance. This is my instance, right? So I want to connect one more instance. One instance is this one. So I want to connect one more instance. So click connect and EC2 Instance Connect and click connect. So it will create one more copy of the virtual machine, copy of EC2 virtual machine. So in one machine, our application is running, and this is also the same machine. If you see here, if you type here AWS S3 LS, you will be able to see all the buckets. See here, this is our bucket, right? This is our bucket. Now we know like our application is running here. Now we have to check whether we are getting those data or not. So for that, what we have to do curl -x, and the method is get method. Now click http://localhost:8080, and what is the endpoint? The endpoint is all user, right? All user. Hit enter. Now see, we are getting our data. Username is Jack. User ID is 111. User salary is this one. Second username is Lisa. User ID is this one, and salary is this one. So this is the way we can deploy our Spring Boot application to EC2 instances. Okay. So I will upload the code to GitHub, and if you have any doubt, so just provide a comment. I will provide a solution. Thank you.